G'day fixers. When it comes to your home pressure washer, how much power do you actually need? For 11 years, this little Karcher K2 has been abused, smashed around, and done a pretty damn good job of it. It's just starting to go on its way out, but honestly, I couldn't have asked more. However, it is time for an upgrade. So I thought I'd go a little bit bigger. Let's look at the two. This is not a direct comparison of the two models because this one costs twice as much as this one does. But the stats aren't actually that different. This one weighs in at about 9 kilos, so it's a bit heavier than the 6 kilo unit. 1800 watts, 1400 watts, maximum pressure at 1885 psi. Maximum pressure on this one, yes, I'm reading notes, 1750 psi. So in terms of max pressure, there's actually not a huge difference between them. So why does this one cost about 350 Australian dollars and this one cost about 170 Australian dollars? Well, I intend to find out. I'm hoping this is the game changer. But what we're going to do is go outside, we're going to hit a couple of garden paths. I've got the EcoFlow charging, which is going to help me power it out today as well. And we'll just see per square meter how much faster this one is with just the lamps, like this one can do. And then we'll really see if it's worth getting these patio sort of porch cleaner attachment things and if they're going to speed up my life too. Time is money when you're a trader, you're even just at home by yourself doing the chores. And anything that can save us that time is going to be worth it. Let's see if it's $180-ish worth it. So here are the paths that I have got to clean today that I'm going to test them out. And as you can see, I'm measuring out a couple of the squares because we'll use these to work out how much time per square meter it takes the K2 Karcher and the Gerni 5000 to clean that space. Interestingly, I'm also then going to have the patio cleaner head for the Gerni and see if that indeed does speed up the process a lot. These paths have not been done in over a year. Generally just dirt and grime, but you can see there is some moss type stuff down there too. That'll be a nice test for the rotary head. And the stairs leading into the building, they get filthy as well. I generally do this once a year. So here are my 3 test squares. We're going to use the lance for the Gerni, the lance for the baby Karcher, and then the Gerni patio cleaner. I'm going to put a stopwatch against each of them and do the calculation to see how fast they perform. Now, we already said that the Karcher is not as powerful or as expensive, and also it's 11 years old, and I have noticed over recent uses that it doesn't perform as well as it used to, so keep in mind that a newer unit probably will outperform what I'm doing here. But it was only able to achieve about 2.8 minutes per square meter, and when you've got a lot of paths to do, that's pretty slow. Straight out of the box, that was the first blast ever with the Gerni. It was looking like the business. And for really tough areas, you're going to need the lance. A lot of those dark patches are actually just the basalt aggregate in the concrete, so this is never going to be pure white. You can't get rid of those dark patches. If you didn't have the patio head cleaner attachment, this is what you'd have to do, and it was significantly faster. We were down to 1.8 minutes per square meter. Ooh, that's fun. Check out that thing go. I've heard mixed reviews about these, and keep in mind this is also the very first time I have used this style of cleaner, and you can see in the first 10 seconds here I was actually just struggling to get the thing going, working out how fast I could move it. Like everything, it takes a little bit of practice, but it's a very short learning curve. As we power through this first 2 square meter section of a path, by the end of it I was already getting a feel for the tool. And there you have it. 1 minute per square meter. That is a significant improvement. As we said, we're using the EcoFlow today. It's really handy when you're outside away from power because you can just move the giant battery around as you need to go onto a different part of the path. But wait, there is more. We are not done with this review just yet because there are a few other little tricks. So hang around to the end as I tackle the toughest part of this job right at the end of the video. Okay, I have just run out of juice, which running this thing is 1 hour on the EcoFlow. And it's doing a pretty good job. I definitely think it is faster. I do find it a little bit harder to see where you've been compared to when I used to do it just with the nozzle. But the results are looking pretty good. We're going to use that later. And I've done all of this path and all of the top area on 1 battery. So I am going to have to break out the extension cord now in order to finish the job, but you know, we're getting there. maybe did a third of it, so about a 3-hour job. It's done good. Definitely highly preferable just running the cable like this instead of having to get to the mains all the way in the building there, but you know, it is a battery and it has limited capacity, and that thing is sucking some juice. For now though, that was the first path on all the paths done, and by the end of it I was getting very comfortable with the patio cleaner, and it came up a treat. It was a lovely day to be outside, so I took a bit of a long break, used the power cord for a while and gave the EcoFlow time to recharge, so we could get back to finishing off all of the pathways. These photos here are before and afters, and you can see, particularly as those stairs dry out, just what an improvement it makes. Took the opportunity to also dig a few of our earthworm friends out of this drain, which was completely filled with mud and muck. Got a few gardening jobs done at the same time. Whee! Where you go, little fella? You'll be happy in the water. There we go, topped up the garden with all the silt. And we have a clean drain at the top of the paths to help keep them a bit cleaner in the future. Not just the paths, of course, this is the inside of our garbage room, and it was filthy. I don't know the last time that this was cleaned. So the Gerni 5000 again, showing its worth, this time with the lance. And look at this jail cell before and after section. That's just so much better. Even took off some of the render, a bit too powerful. Smashed the bins while I was at it. And our refuse disposal was looking much shinier. We said there was another trick or two that this thing can do, and here is one of them. I'd not used one of these spray attachments before. You can fill them with detergent to wash your car or boat or whatever it is, spray it over there and then switch off to the pressure washing mode. But I have filled this with a mold inhibitor. This is all in real time. Look how fast you can lay down over this path area. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It was so much fun, and perhaps you should be a little bit more careful than I am because this stuff is a herbicide. But it didn't affect the plants around the outside too terribly much, just don't spray it on your grass. I've sped it up a little now, but as you can see, it just powers through, and the difference it makes having this spray on there is just amazing. To look at it, you'd think we were burning through litres and litres of the mold and moss inhibitor, but honestly, I think I went through a bottle and a half for the entire path. So something like 200 millilitres. It just foams it up beautifully and gives you excellent coverage. So here was the before of one of the sections of concrete, and that's a day later once the penetrating spray has had a chance to kill off all the mold and moss. It looks fantastic. As promised, here is the final tough job. This area is under our clotheslines, it's always in shade, and there was, I kid you not, 5 to 10 mil of moss on these pink pavers. But about an hour with the Gerni, going tile by tile with the lance, and all of the surrounding areas and those tiles came up tops too. So, get yourself a mid-powered unit, get yourself a patio cleaner, and you'll be having happy days.